Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tooways to Skin a Cat, a show where we talk career experiences, entrepreneurship, and investments. The main aim is to show that there's more than one way to be successful other than just climbing the corporate ladder. We are live on LinkedIn and YouTube, and the show will be available on podcast by tomorrow. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on that notification bell to get automatically notified when the next episode comes out. This is another surprise stream. I'm trying to see how it performs compared to those that have been pre scheduled. It's another solo session, and today I will be talking about the job opportunities and ideas for chartered accountants and how they compare to other careers. So, for context, I've worked in many different roles in various companies across different industries. I've worked for large JSE listed companies, medium sized companies, and companies with as little as 6 people. I've worked in different industries as well. So I've worked in external audit, I've worked in internal audit, I've worked in listed property, I've worked in unlisted investments, I've worked in asset management, I've worked in consulting, I've worked in startups, and now I'm in the tech industry. And I think being a chartered accountant has made me a bit heedless at times about jobs, especially at a younger age. And then I realized the privileged position that I was in. And we are all in that privileged position because every company needs a chartered accountant, someone who can not only record the numbers but also analyze them and provide insights to leadership. It doesn't matter which industry or which size of business. In the past, whenever I've been very unhappy in a job, I've changed jobs because of that fact. There was always a role available for a chartered accountant. It may not necessarily be the role that you want, but you are much more likely to get a job compared to someone with another qualification. And that feeling is empowering to not feel like you're being held ransom by a job. I'm also based in Cape Town, so it does not have as many roles available as Joburg, but it probably has more roles available than Durban. But if I was struggling to find a job here, worst case scenario, I could move to Joburg. The same applies if you lived in Durban, Berge, East London, Bloemfontein, etc. Now, you can't say the same for other high paying jobs. So, for example, economists have very high paying jobs, but there's only a few roles available in the country, and generally these are at large corporates. So, if you were an economist and you got a good job at a big company, if you're not happy in the role, you have to wait till another one becomes available, and it might not ever become available. So if you're working under a toxic leader, you are stuck there. So, and I noticed for engineers, certain types of engineers seem to always have jobs available, while other types of engineers only seem to have jobs available, for example, in Johannesburg. Software developers, as an example, these days seem to have job opportunities worldwide. And that's also because most of the jobs are remote. Hardware developers are probably not so privileged. Something I've also noticed is as you get more senior, networking is a very important skill to learn. I find that you get it's you get your jobs more as you get more senior from networking than from say applying for ads on LinkedIn as an example, or for generally they generally always seem to be jobs available for newly qualified chartered accountants and those from with maybe 1 to 6 years post article experience. After that, the number of jobs available decrease, and at that stage, network being able to network becomes more important because you get jobs through your network as opposed to it's more prevalent to get jobs through your network than, for example, applying for jobs on a recruiter websites, etc., etc. Now, I will be responding to questions towards the end, so please add your questions to the comment section now so that I don't miss them. Something that people always ask me is like, it's all about the numbers. But as a chartered accountant, your role doesn't have to be fixed to the accountant title or the finance title. I know many chartered accountants who are chief investment officers of investment companies, head of operations of businesses. Some of them are entrepreneurs who deal only with day-to-day or they deal with the day-to-day business and they don't deal with the finance part. Yes, they might get the report that they look at, but they don't prepare the report. It's for them to make the decisions. Those entrepreneurs tend to hire other chartered accountants to deal with the financial accounting and those kind of things. Because even though those entrepreneurs do have the skills to do it, they don't have the time, and they need to focus on growing the business. So they hire others to do the accounting work because they don't have the time. Some chartered accountants don't deal with numbers at all. Now, as an example, the former CEO of Woolworths South Africa, Cider Islands, is a chartered accountant. Before her role as CEO, she was head of human resources for the company. Now, there's no debits and credits or journals when you're the head of HR. But her experience as a chartered accountant and the leadership experience that she gained was a means for her to get that role. So that leadership experience helped. In my opinion, chartered accountants are well placed to be leaders in business but in order to become leaders of businesses, it requires us to let go of the safety and the certainty that numbers provide. Numbers are important, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to doing deals, when it comes to dealing with people, learning to negotiate, managing, having empathy, managing staff, the numbers are not going to get you there. As a leader, when you become a leader of a company or as a leader of whatever you're going to do, you need to think much more broadly than the numbers. Think about the long-term stability of the business and the long-term growth of the business. How are you able to inspire and lead a team? Do you have empathy for those that work below you? Are you able to look for growth opportunities? Now, your debits and credits are not going to help you with that. Are you able to identify alternative opportunities? Are you able to innovate the current way that your business does business? Debits and credits and manual journals are not going to help you with that. But if you can learn the leadership skills, you are halfway there. Something I also find can be difficult at times for accountants is being willing to make mistakes. That can be difficult, especially because we numbers people and we like being perfect. Like everything must balance, and the numbers must tie up. So the perfectionist in you doesn't like to make mistakes. But once you are comfortable with making mistakes, you can soar so much higher because you can't see it as I'm making a mistake. If you're in an area of uncertainty, the only way to learn is to make mistakes. So if you don't make the mistakes, you're not going to learn, and somebody's going to overtake you. Once you are comfortable in being able to make a mistake or accepting that you will make mistakes, you can soar so much higher. Sometimes we limit ourselves and we don't realize how much we are limiting ourselves. And the sky is the limit at that point. In closing, I want to leave you with the same message I leave you with every week. Remember, this is your life and your career. You are responsible for it. No matter how great your company is or how bad they are, if you want to succeed, it's on you. You can blame other people for not succeeding. And you might be right, but the only person that it's going to negatively affect is you. So you need to take charge of your growth, take charge of your career. Remember, the final decision is always yours. Even if you make the wrong decision, you can adjust, you can fix that. It's no decision is the final decision. No decision is the end of the world. This quick show has been live on YouTube and should be available on podcast by tomorrow. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast and you feel that it's added value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on that notification bell to get automatically notified when the next episode comes out. Thank you very much for joining me for another episode of Tooways to Skin a Cat.